Imagine this: an old driver, desperate enough to ask his boss for a salary advance. The boss suspects him of being a thief. So what does he do? He sets a trap, a briefcase filled with cash left wide open in the car. But what happened next turned into a shocking twist no one saw coming. Stay with me till the end, because this story will make you question trust, betrayal, and what loyalty really means. And before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more powerful stories that will leave you speechless. Richard was a wealthy businessman, the kind of man who always had everything under control. But lately, one thing was bothering him: his longtime driver, Samuel. Samuel was loyal, polite, and had been with the family for years. Yet last week, Samuel had come to him, voice trembling, and asked, "Sir, could I have an advance on my salary? My family is going through something difficult." Richard didn't ask many questions, but inside, his mind began to spin. Why would a man who had always been careful suddenly ask for money? Could Samuel be hiding something? Could he be in debt? Or worse, was he stealing already? Richard's mistrust grew like a shadow he couldn't shake off. He remembered his friend's warnings. "Be careful, Richard. Sometimes the ones closest to you betray you first." That night, Richard decided to test Samuel's loyalty once and for all. The next morning, Richard set his plan into motion. He stuffed a leather briefcase with stacks of $100 bills, nearly $20,000 in cash. Then he placed it on the back seat of the car, deliberately leaving it wide open, the money practically begging to be touched. When Samuel came to pick him up, Richard slid into the back seat with a calm face, although inside, his heart raced. The bills were in plain sight. Would Samuel take the bait? The car ride was silent. Samuel's eyes stayed on the road, his hands steady on the wheel. Richard glanced at the rearview mirror, waiting for Samuel's eyes to flicker to the cash. But nothing, not even a glance. By the time they reached the office, the money was untouched, still sitting in the briefcase. Richard stepped out, confused but not fully convinced. He thought to himself, maybe Samuel is just being careful. Maybe he'll come back for it later. That evening, as Richard sat in his study, his phone buzzed. The number was unfamiliar. Hesitant, he answered. "Mr. Richard?" "Yes, this is Richard." "I'm calling about Samuel. I thought you should know what he's going through." Richard frowned. The woman explained she was Samuel's daughter. She revealed that Samuel had been struggling in silence. His wife was critically ill and needed urgent medical treatment. The salary advance he had requested wasn't for himself, but to cover her hospital bills. Richard froze. All this time he had doubted Samuel. He had thought of him as a potential thief, someone eyeing his wealth. But in reality, Samuel had been fighting a private battle, carrying the burden of his family's suffering without ever complaining. The next day, Richard couldn't hide his guilt. He watched Samuel carefully as he opened the car door for him, the same quiet, respectful man he had always been. Finally, Richard spoke. "Samuel, why didn't you tell me about your wife?" Samuel's hands trembled slightly. His eyes lowered. "Sir, I didn't want to burden you. My duty is to serve you, not to trouble you with my problems. I thought I could manage somehow." Richard felt a sharp pain in his chest. He realized how unfair he had been, testing a man who had done nothing but serve him faithfully for years. Samuel's silence during the ride wasn't guilt, it was dignity. It was loyalty in its purest form. That night, Richard went to the hospital with Samuel. He saw the truth with his own eyes. Samuel's wife lying weak in her bed, his daughter sitting by her side, trying to stay strong. Richard placed the same briefcase Samuel had ignored on the table. This time, not as a trap, but as a gift. "Take it," he said firmly, "for her treatment, for your family, and forgive me, Samuel, for doubting your loyalty." Tears welled in Samuel's eyes. He clasped Richard's hand tightly. "Sir, I will never forget this, not for as long as I live." And in that moment, Richard realized something money could never buy. True loyalty is not proven through traps or suspicion. It shines brightest in silence, in struggle, and in sacrifice. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder. Loyalty isn't about words, it's about actions. And sometimes, the ones we doubt the most are the ones who would never betray us.